Hey guys, as I film this, it's currently Monday, January 4th, 2021. It is now 2021, so 2020 is in the rearview. Hope you had a happy new year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope it's happy, healthy, and safe. And yeah, so let's kick off 2021 from Cincy Fan Zone with the 2020 Cincinnati Bengals season recap video. I'm going to do a little differently this year. I haven't done a type of video like this since I think they lost in the playoffs to the Steelers 5 years ago. As I said in my post, I put it online. I've just been pressed for time lately, but the craziness that's been 2020 and a bunch of changes in my personal life. So trying to pump out videos has been a little difficult. So save myself some time. I'm just going to basically just shoot from the hip right here and just talk about how I feel about the Bengals without writing anything out or doing much editing to it. So yeah, I was at the game yesterday, the season finale against the Baltimore Ravens. Bengals got absolutely demolished. Lamar Jackson ran all over them. Final score was 38-3. Didn't even see a touchdown, and was probably AJ Green and Geno Atkins' final games with the Bengals. So the season went off the rails. After Joe Burrow went down with an ACL, MCL, and I think a PCL or something, after he went down with that leg injury, the team was never quite the same. It became way less fun to watch this team, and it was just brutal week after week. I mean, at least when we had Joe Burrow, there was like some semblance of hope that, I mean, yeah, this kid's going to be the franchise, and he just looked phenomenal every game he's played in except for one. I mean, he looked like, you could tell he was a little shaky against the Steelers that first meeting. But other than that, he was as advertised. He is going to be the future of this franchise. He is like a once-in-a-generation talent, and the Bengals can build around him. We might be able to hopefully not only win in the playoffs for the first time in going on over 30 years, but possibly win a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow has been saying that he wants to bring a Super Bowl to Cincinnati. I mean, he's from Athens, which is just a couple of hours to the west of Cincinnati in Ohio, so it'd be like a dream scenario for the Ohio kid to bring a Super Bowl championship back to his home state. But yeah, after he went down, it left a glaring hole in this team. The defense, I mean, their problems were magnetized even further because the offense could not balance it out. Ryan Finley was not even considered to be a starter. They went to the practice squad guy, Brandon Allen, to be the starting quarterback when Joe Burrow got hurt. And then after that, Joe Mixon went down with an injury, so we were pretty much down to Pirine and Giovanni Bernard for the rest of the season. And Mixon went down pretty early as well. AJ Green, he was not the same guy Bengals fans have grown to love in the last decade. I loved AJ Green, but I don't know if it's rust, age, the fact that this was a contract year. You thought maybe he'd ball out, find that AJ Green of old, and forget the past couple seasons with injuries. Did not happen. He has a few moments of brilliance, but otherwise looked like to be a shell of himself. It's not to say it was all bad. T. Higgins had a breakout year. That kid's going to be a stud. Burrow and Higgins is the future 1-2 punch for this Bengals offense. Combine that with the run game, Joe Mixon should be able to remain healthy. This Bengals offense could go on a tear if they can get a offensive line. Now, the fact that Joe Burrow kept getting killed, I mean, it was evident week after week after week. He was getting sacked a lot, and you just thought, oh my God, it's going to be just a matter of time before he gets seriously hurt. And unfortunately, that came against the Washington football team and went down with that knee injury. Just kind of took the wind out of the sails of Bengals fans everywhere. And then, the offense, when Burrow was there, they were fun to watch. They were electric. They were rolling. It's just, Joe Burrow's a playmaker. He is unbelievable, and hopefully he can come back from his knee injury as good as new, if not better, and lead this Bengals offense to multiple championships in the future. But going to the defensive side of the ball, defense was a mess. The defensive line played okay toward the end of the year, but overall the defensive scheme under Lou Anarumo does not work. He has got to be let go at the end of the season. Sorry, my dog is jumping on my lap. After the trouncing that they got at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, I saw an article in Sports Illustrated that says his job is going to depend on how they do against the Ravens. And based on what I saw, he better not be back next year. They're also going to cut a few other coaches. Jim Turner, offensive line coach, definitely needs to go. Offensive line was a mess. They knew offensive line unit as a whole. Defense, though, nothing too mind-boggling except for Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates was a Pro Bowl snub. Should have definitely made the Pro Bowl. Arguably one of the best safeties in the NFL. And probably the best player defensively for the Bengals, without question. The kid is a stud. He deserved to be in the Pro Bowl. The fact that he got snubbed is probably just a tribute to the fact that the Bengals are a bottom feeder franchise at this point. But yeah, so Jesse Bates, probably only bright spot. Carlos Dunlap, he got traded earlier in the season after complaining about lack of playing time, so he's now with the Seahawks. Geno Atkins, there were rumors that he and Dunlap were both wanted to voice those frustrations, but Geno's a very quiet guy, and he went about it kind of a more professional way than Carlos Dunlap did, so he's still at the Bengals, or he was. Yesterday, him and AJ's contract, as I said earlier, expired. But yeah, so defensive side of the ball is a mess. Offensive side without Joe Burrow was a mess. Offensive line totally needs to be revamped. And yeah, so where does this franchise go from here after finishing 4-11-1? Well, they announced today that they're going to keep Zach Taylor for his third year. I think it's contract year 2. There's going to be multiple coaching changes. We can only go up from here, but it's going to be tough. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns all made the playoffs, all look better on the field and on paper than the Bengals. So the fact that the Bengals are going to have to make all these changes in a hurry to try and compete with these 3 other teams in the AFC North is going to be no easy task. So where do you go from here? Get a line. Please get an offensive line. Just protect Joe Burrow, protect the franchise. Make sure he stays healthy so we can actually score and compete in these games. Maybe get a new tight end. Drew Samples, he's okay, but I'm seeing lots of stuff that the Bengals might try to draft Pitts out of Florida. Either way, just get some bodies on that line to protect Burrow. Get him a new tight end, new big target from the throw to. Teagan's going to be back. Tyler Boyd's going to be back, so they're going to have some good years ahead of them with Joe Burrow in football. So if they can get the offensive line, I would not worry too much about the weapons that Joe Burrow will have. Defensive side of the ball starts with Lou Anarumo. Get rid of him. Get a new defensive coordinator. And I feel like the players on defense are pretty solid for the most part. Sam Hubbard's good. They got a bunch of up-and-coming linebackers they drafted this past draft. It's just the coaching staff. It just goes back to the coaching staff, to the ownership. I'm sorry because my dog is playing with my wife right now and growling at her for some reason. We don't growl, Gus, but he is now taken off. But yeah, so defense side of the ball, as I said, they got Hubbard, they got Jackson, they got Jesse Bates. They got a bunch of guys on the defense side of the ball who are kind of, you could consider playmakers. Just the defense side, it just stems from coaching. Lou Anarumo needs to go. And speaking of coaching, they're going to get rid of the offensive line coach, but Zach Taylor, I do not have much faith in him at the moment. The fact that, he's that coach, and they did not draft a single offensive lineman to protect Joe Burrow. The fact that they Guster Bernard. His name's Bernard for Giovanni Bernard. But Gus, we don't bark. But the fact that they did not sign any offensive lineman, and they re-signed Bobby Hart, who's absolute trash at his position, just infuriated Bengal fans even more when Joe Burrow went down. But yeah, so that's all I got for you. It's just been a frustrating year for Bengals fans. Trying to keep my dog occupied while, see, here he is. He's just jumping all over me. But trying to keep him occupied while filming this video is a little tough, especially when you consider that I'm talking about a Bengals team that I love, but just crapped every game on the field. Just sucks. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Not a phenomenal Bengals season to write home about. Hopefully next year's better. Should Joe Burrow be able to come back on time. That's all I got for you. If you like this video, feel free to get a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Check out my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. Give me a follow on Twitter, on Instagram. Links to both those are in the description below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.